Coming up on Hoosier Sports Night, Indiana basketball continues to struggle in a road loss to Wisconsin. We have more on what that means for the future of the program.
And women's basketball picks up a key win at home to keep their tournament dreams alive. This is Hoosier Sports Night. Hello and welcome to Hoosier Sports Night. I'm Grace Jeffer.
And I'm Maura White. Grace, did you watch any basketball this weekend?
Are you talking women's or men's?
Oh, I'm talking women's, of course. Indiana women's basketball picked up a key win against Nebraska at home on Sunday afternoon. Our Kelsey Dennehy has more.
The momentum Indiana women's basketball found against Washington certainly carried over. In a 76-60 win over Nebraska Sunday afternoon, the Hoosiers found one of their most complete games of basketball this season.
Our group as a whole understood what we needed to do, and I thought they executed the plan really well.
Nebraska never fully went away, but Chloe Moore McNeil and Yarden Garzone, the newest members of the 1,000-point club at Indiana, found the three 9 times combined to stop the Cornhuskers' scoring runs and ignite a vibrant assembly hall.
It's really special to be up there with these names. This program, it means a lot to us. And I feel like it's really special to celebrate with our fans.
Chloe is in that zone. She's really good, both defensively and offensively. She's been a little bit up and down, as we know. But I'll stand by what I said, and I always tell her this: as you go, we go. And so, if she can put back-to-back performances together like that every night, we're a much better basketball team.
Taking care of the basketball on both ends is something Indiana has struggled with, but the Hoosiers turned the page today with 25 assists and only 8 turnovers on the win.
It's how it should look for us. I mean, this is a talented group, and when they can put it all together with taking care of the ball, like I told them, I mean, I'm terrible in math, but it's not hard math, right? When you take care of the ball, you get 25 assists and you get more shot attempts because you're taking care of the ball. It's much easier to win games when you're doing those things.
Something in the fourth quarter that stuck out to me was when our other captain, Sid, she kind of spoke out and pointed out that in these games, a time like that in fourth quarter, we need to learn from our past mistakes and be more mature with the ball, and I think we've done that today.
The Hoosiers will host Rutgers on Thursday in a 6 p.m. contest. From Assembly Hall, Kelsey Dennehy, IUSTV Sports.
The Hoosiers sit at 14-7 overall and 6-4 in the Big Ten ahead of another conference game tonight at Rutgers.
Indiana men's basketball lost its 4th game in a row to number 21 Wisconsin on Tuesday night in Madison. It was a domination from wire to wire for the Badgers. Wisconsin jumped out of a 26-4 lead halfway through the first frame, and after that, the Hoosiers just couldn't catch up. The Badgers hit 12 threes, had 4 in double figures, and scored 18 points off Indiana's 11 turnovers. The Hoosiers still haven't won at Wisconsin since 1998.
We're just not a tough team right now. We're not, and mentally we're not tough. You figure we have a game like we did at Purdue, and where we really competed for 40 minutes, and then we come in here and we lay an egg, based on how we started the ball game. And you spot teams on the road 20, it's going to be tough to get back in them. And again, that's on me, man. We're pushing and pulling and scraping and just trying to get what we can get, and guys just didn't step up again tonight.
Indiana will host Michigan on Saturday in desperate need of a win.
It was Indiana Wrestling's senior night this past Saturday against Northwestern, where the Hoosiers came out on top 25-13. Right out of the gate, the Hoosiers took a 12-0 with 2 tech falls in one major decision that they built off of for the rest of the match. Head coach Angel Escobedo says that when he took over this program just a few years ago, these seniors were there to build the team from the ground up, and he is beyond thankful for them.
These guys were a part of me, like in the beginning when we started this thing. Where we had to dig this program out of, it was a tall task, but they were up for it, and they've really changed it. The last 3 years we've been a top 25 team. That's stability, and it's all because of them.
This brings 23rd ranked IU to a 7-3 overall record with a 3-3 record in Big Ten play. The Hoosiers' next opponent is top 10 ranked Ohio State as they come into Wilkinson Hall. Indiana is looking to change the tide of its 12-match losing streak against the Buckeyes this Sunday. Coming up after the break, we crown our Hoosier Highlight Athlete of the Week.
And men's tennis goes undefeated for the second week in a row. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to Hoosier Sports Night.
Now joining us in studio for this week's Hoosier Highlight is our very own Olivia Pierce. Olivia?
Thanks, Grace. Our Hoosier Highlight Athlete of the Week comes to us all the way from down under. Yes, that's right. The Australian native Jasmine Higgs has been unstoppable in goal for IU water polo this season. So far, Higgs has put up a 60% save rate, putting her team in a prime position to take the victory. Higgs has won all 8 games she's played, and she's not just valuable in front of goal. Higgs has also been a big offensive contributor, scoring a goal against LaSalle and the game winner against Brown University. She has also racked up 8 assists for the Hoosiers. So we'll see if Higgs can put a stop to Big Ten rival Michigan or even make a splash on Stanford. Back to you guys at the desk.
Women's water polo took the East Coast waters by storm last weekend at the Bruno Invite in Rhode Island and Massachusetts. Taking down multiple ranked opponents, the Hoosiers furthered their undefeated streak to 9 wins. That streak was saved by goal Jasmine Higgs with a buzzer beater cross-pool goal to close out Brown 16-15 on Saturday. The team is now ranked 11th in the nation and will continue to face Michigan on February in the Midwest Invite.
The Indiana men's tennis team had an eventful weekend at home, facing 3 non-conference opponents. To begin the weekend, the Hoosiers in the Dartmouth Big Green found themselves trading matches left and right, with IU securing the win by way of Facundo Yunus victory at number 1 singles. On Sunday, Indiana continued their momentum against Brown in Toledo, securing the doubles point in both matchups en route to an undefeated weekend. The Hoosiers will be away from Bloomington for the first time this season as they take on Middle Tennessee State on Friday.
IU women's golf has had a rocky start to their NCAA campaign after finishing up at 15th place in the UCF Challenge in Orlando. IU began the match with a solid first round, buoyed by an excellent performance from senior Beatrice Junqueira. She posed a career best, coming in at 2 under par. IU wasn't able to build on that momentum, dropping 11 strokes throughout round 2, digging themselves into a hole they just couldn't emerge from. The Hoosiers will look for a fresh start when they travel to Humble, Texas for the Chevron Collegiate.
Now joining us with this week's Candy Stripe Calendar Report is Genevieve Malone. Genevieve?
Thanks, guys. An action-packed weekend for Indiana athletics. Starting out, softball is traveling down to Miami, Florida for the Felsberg Invitational. They will play Stony Brook and Iowa State. Women's tennis has a weekend at home. Starting out with the Thundering Herd, Marshall University on Friday and Xavier University Saturday morning. Men's tennis will face Middle Tennessee in Murfreesboro Friday at 5. Women's water polo has a busy Saturday at Indiana, facing the Michigan Wolverines in the morning and Marist University following after. To finish out our Saturday, men's basketball also will face Michigan at Assembly Hall at 1. Sunday morning, the men's golf team will tee off in Puerto Rico for the Palmas de Mar Collegiate. Later in the day, wrestling will face Ohio State in Wilkinson Hall at 2 o'clock. And to wrap up our weekend, women's basketball travels to Minnesota to play the Gophers at 3. That's all for this week's Candy Stripe Calendar. I'm Genevieve Malone. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Genevieve. And that's our show for the week. Thank you so much for tuning in. In honor of National Girls and Women in Sports Day, we're proud to share that our entire broadcast today is woman-run.
Women belong in sports, and we're grateful to be a small part of that here at Indiana. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at IUSTV Sports to keep up with all the latest in IU athletics. For our production crew behind us, I'm Grace Jeffer.
And I'm Maura White. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching IUSTV Sports. Be sure to subscribe at IUSTV and follow us on Instagram and X at IUSTV Sports.